Now, of course, I've seen some of the shill videos and I find them hilarious. Oh, you're just saying that because you're racist. You're a racist. You're a racist South African, apartheid South African, or whatever.
Serpentza and Laowhy86 exposed.
I really don't like to make these types of videos. This isn't... I try to consider myself a bit above the fray. I let my videos sort of speak for themselves. I do not like singling out anybody or anything. Winston and Matt. Matt. Winston and Matt. Matt get Winston. Laowhy86. Laowhy86. Winston's. Laowhy86. Matt. Laowhy86 is Winston is Matt. Winston. ADV China. ADV Podcasts. Serpentza and Laowhy86. Winston. Serpentza and Laowhy86. ADV China. Winston. Serpentza and Winston and Matt. Winston. Winston. Winston and Winston. Winston. Winston for Winston with Winston. Winston. But Winston. Winston. This Winston is Serpentza and Winston. Winston's Serpentza and Winston and Matt. Oh, Winston. Oh, Winston. Winston and Matt. Winston. Matt. Winston. 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 Serpentza. His name's Winston.
A few days ago, one very popular YouTuber,
Winston.
Serpentza, Matt, Ty, Laowhy86. Winston and Laowhy. Winston, Matt, Ty. Winston, Matt, Ty, Matt, and Winston.
Winston Sturzel, a Serpentza, Matthew Ty, Laowhy86. Winston and Matt. Winston
and Laowhy86.
Serpentza and Laowhy86. Serpentza and Laowhy86.
Laowhy86 and Serpentza.
Serpentza.
Laowhy86. Winston, like Spanx. Winston. Spanx.
Serpentza. Winston Sturzel. Serpentza. Winston Sturzel. Serpentza.
Winston Sturzel. Winston.
Serpentza.
Winston Sturzel. Winston.
Serpentza and Laowhy86.
Serpentza. Winston Frederick Sturzel. Winston Serpentza and his friend Laowhy86. Winston, or Laowhy86 Serpentza. You, Winston. Winston.
Winston Sturzel, Serpentza.
Serpentza and Laowhy86.
Serpentza Laowhy86.
Serpentza and Laowhy86.
Serpentza.
Winston Sturzel or Serpentza.
Laowhy86 and Serpentza. Serpentza and the Laowhy86
is white, racist.
It's racial hate speech.
Captain apartheid, supremacy, racism.
Extremely racist.
The Asian hate rhetoric.
The Serpentza and Laowhy86 exposed video. A common video now found on YouTube, and it's almost like some rite of passage for any new up-and-coming shill to prove their worth in this crazy world of China shilldom. I mean, there are literally hundreds of these videos online, ranging from harmless opinion pieces all the way to defamation and doxing attempts and ludicrous claims and accusations of our beloved ADV boys being racists.
The anti-China rhetoric, the Asian hate rhetoric.
A racist.
Trying to plot Uyghur people against Han people.
Supremacy, racism.
Extremely racist is white, racist.
Now, the recent Nathan Snitch video, or as I like to call him, Horgor Serlung, is another failed attempt from a CCP sycophant to label Serpentza as a racist. It's just the usual BS gaslighting and taking clips out of context that we're used to seeing from the shill king. And I'm not going to include any more clips of this former drug dealer, ex-Scientologist turned CCP sycophant, because I really don't want my viewers to turn their computer off and throw up all over their computer screen.
I know. It's quite controversial.
I recently had a FaceTime call with Serpentza to find out once and for all if he truly is a racist. Hey, Winston, what's up? Okay. Mein Führer. I'm sorry. I'll get it right next time. Anyway, listen. I heard that your favorite shills are making another Winston Sturzel exposed video. And for some strange reason, and I really can't put my finger on it, but they keep accusing you of being a racist. Unbelievable, right?
Das war ein Befehl!
Yes.
Der Angriff
I know.
Steiners war ein Befehl!
I know.
Sie nennen sich Generale, weil Sie Jahre auf Militärakademien zugebracht haben.
Calm down,
zu
mein
lernen, wie
Führer.
man besser
Everything's gonna be
Gabel
okay.
hält. Mit Ihrem eigenen Blut werden Sie bezahlen. Sie werden das
Hey,
Saufen in
listen.
Ihrem eigenen Blut.
I gotta get out of here. I'll chat to you soon, mein Führer. Okay, bye. Jesus. That guy's crazy. So, not a racist then? Anyway, all jokes aside, the shills have been working overtime on this mission to prove that Serpentza and Laowhy86 are a pair of racists, and they've even created this whole new list to add to the definition of what a racist actually is. Now, I always thought that a racist is somebody who is against or antagonistic towards a person or people based upon their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group. Well, it turns out I was wrong all this time, and the shills have given us a whole new list of things to add to the definition of what constitutes a racist. So what follows is the Shills Guide to Racism. Number 1, criticize a government that isn't the government of your own country. Because government clearly equals people, and we are all linked to the government that rules over us. I'm not allowed to criticize the North Korean government because it isn't my country's government. Even though the Kim Jong-un regime is responsible for the suffering of the North Korean people, I can't criticize them. Under this shill rule that we can't criticize any other government apart from our own, I can't even be critical of the US government because it's not my own. I'm only allowed to criticize my own country's government, but the Chinese people aren't even allowed to do that. And this rule doesn't apply to the shills because they're allowed to criticize all the governments around the world apart from the Chinese government. Number 2, you're a racist if you constructively criticize another country, i.e. China's, societal problems. It's okay to talk smack about your own country and other countries, which is what the shills constantly do, but offer criticism of China and you are a racist. Number 3, marry somebody of the race/ethnicity you apparently despise. Better still, have a child with her, which will be a constant reminder of how much you hate the Chinese people. Ridiculous. Number 4, live in the country of the people you apparently hate for over a decade. Immerse yourself in the culture, learn the language, and make YouTube content aimed at raising awareness about the positives and negatives of the expat experience in the country you apparently hate. This is exactly what Serpentza and Laowhy86 did when they lived in China. It was only after the country they loved took a massive dump on them that they left and started to tell the stories that they weren't allowed to tell when they lived in China. And last but not least, number 5, be a white South African, because if all else fails, the whole apartheid thing can be brought up again and again and again. So I think I just made my point there loud and clear. And obviously I would be extremely naive and foolish to believe that there's only one concrete example and definition of racism, and that racism doesn't take more subtle shapes and forms around this crazy world that we live in. However, I truly believe that the shills have gone way too far with this one, and they know that they have. Anyway, I bet you guys are curious as to what Winston Sturzel, Serpent ZA, or Mein Führer thinks about all of this nonsense being spoken about him. And luckily for you, I actually got Winston to answer some questions about this. So anyway, let's take a look at what he has to say. Take it away, Winston.
Well, it's pretty simple. There are a couple of reasons why there's so many videos about us. But number one is the CCP sycophants and the ultra-nationalists in China cannot stand me or Sea Milk. The reason is that we tell the inconvenient truths that they want to hide. You know, having actually experienced living in China for 14 years and Sea Milk 10 plus years, I've experienced a lot. Not only have I experienced a lot, I've filmed a lot. I have so much video evidence. So when I talk about a particular topic, I can back it up by showing actual video evidence of what I've seen and experienced. And these people know that it's the truth. It's irrefutable. When I speak about something, I don't make up stories. I speak about things that I've personally observed and experienced myself, and that I can back up with proof. And if it's not video evidence, it's some kind of document or something that I can read, because I can read, speak, and write Chinese. So they know it's true. And it hurts because they try to hide it. Remember, China's a face culture. And so when these kind of bad parts of Chinese society and culture are exposed, and of course, I don't only focus on the bad things, I focus on good things too, but I do focus on the bad things because nobody talks about them. They can't stand it, so they try to shut me up. So they make these videos to try and attack my character, because when you can't win an argument, what do? You go after the person's character to try and smear them, try to make them seem like they're an unreliable source, try to make them seem like they're a racist or somebody who should not be taken seriously, so that when I speak truths, people doubt my truths because they think I'm, some kind of a crazy, racist, terrible person. So that's the number one reason. But actually, there's a much more selfish reason people make videos about me and Sea Milk, and that is because it's an easy way to get views. You know, it's taken so many years to establish my YouTube channel and to establish myself through my videos. I've been doing it for about 13 plus years now. It's hard work. It takes a lot of dedication. I'm faced with a lot of attacks and things like that. But actually, anyone who's a YouTuber knows how difficult it is to come up with ideas and to come up with videos and make a compelling video for people to watch. So, number one, I'm a very easy source of inspiration for videos, because instead of them actually making good content themselves, they just need to look at one of my videos and then make a reaction video or attack me because it's an easy thing to do. I don't know what kind of video to make this week. I know what. Guaranteed views. I'll make a Serpentza Lies video or a Serpentza Exposed video or a Serpentza is wrong and this is why I think so video, you see, because it's very easy. So very easy source of content, but also guaranteed views. In fact, most of the CCP shill channels, you'll probably notice, got their start by attacking me or Sea Milk. You know, you go back in their video history, they were just kind of a non-existent channel. Then they make videos attacking me or Sea Milk, and suddenly they get a huge support base. And this is because there are a lot of CCP, 50 Cent Army, Wu Mao trolls out there, ultra-nationalists who completely hate my guts because I speak the truths that they don't want exposed. So they will give them support. And of course, the state, Chinese state-run media and the Chinese state, we all know, back these shills and they back these ideas. So when they attack me or Sea Milk, they love it. And so they make sure that they get a backing and a viewership. So it's an easy way to get views. So that pretty much answers it. It's cheap, it's cowardly, and it's easy views for them. Now, of course, I've seen some of the shill videos and I find them hilarious. And in some ways, it's quite flattering that they obsess over me so much. It's weird. And it just proves every time a new one of these Serpentza video comes out, it just proves just how effective what I'm doing is. It shows you how much of an impact I'm having and how scared they are of my opinion. Because if they have to try that hard to try and silence me, I know I'm on the money. And so it's encouraging every time one of these come out. I don't watch all of them, no. It's boring. It's always the same thing. It's always like, Serpentza Exposed, and then they show videos that I've myself put out there in public, and all of a sudden it's an expose. I don't quite get that part of it. What they do, most, in fact, all of them, is they take creative cuts and kind of take things out of context and then put their own opinions in. Oh, this is what he really meant. If you look at his body language, this is what he's saying. That kind of nonsense, which I find pathetic and actually, well, a little bit entertaining, but just pathetic. It's really funny. It's just all straw man arguments and gaslighting and so on. So, like I said, it's boring. I don't watch all of them. But I do find it very encouraging when new Serpentza videos come out, because I know that means that I'm still incredibly relevant when it comes to the China spheres, because they are so afraid of me. And so from that point of view, yeah, I think it's quite good. That's very simple. You see, it's pretty effective these days. I'm sure everyone knows, in the woke media and in the woke society. If you call somebody a racist, it immediately puts them in a position of defense. So whether they're a racist or not, the fact that you've called them a racist suddenly has to halt the flow of things, halt the process. So if I'm busy pointing something out, if I say, for instance, that the Chinese fishing fleets are overfishing the seas near the Galapagos and destroying the ecology there, which they are, and instead of somebody saying, okay, well, let's talk about it, let's try to fix this, or what can we do about it, or are the facts true, or do you have evidence, or anything like that. Instead of doing that, because they know it's true, and they know there's a lot of evidence out there, it's super easy for me to point that out. So instead of going down a reasonable path of conversation or debate or whatever, all they do is immediately say, oh, you're just saying that because you're racist. You're a racist. You're a racist South African, apartheid South African, or whatever. You see, immediately that disrupts the flow of a proper conversation that might actually lead to a resolution, because that, in their minds, puts me in a position where I now have to defend myself and prove that I'm not a racist, apartheid South African, or whatever. Problem is, it doesn't work on me, because I don't give a shit. People can call me racist all day and all night, because it's one thing to call somebody something, but if they don't take it seriously and don't believe it, like me, having been called a racist my entire life, I've just grown up with that because of where I was born. Which, if you think about it, it's pretty racist in itself to label someone something because of where they were born and the color of their skin. Just because I'm a white South African, all of a sudden I'm a racist. That in itself is racist. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, it doesn't bother me, so it doesn't stop me. And they hope it stops me, but it doesn't. So I'm talking about something, they try to call me a racist, doesn't stop me from continuing to tell the truths and continue to say, okay, what about the Galapagos? What about the fishing fleets? And they can't understand why calling me a racist didn't work. Again, it's also very cheap and easy, because I am a white South African, to label me as a racist, because, well, that in itself is kind of a racist stereotype. And it's something that most people will go to. So again, it's an attempt to try and discredit me and discredit what I talk about and discredit my experiences and my video footage and everything, because it actually works a lot of the time on weak-minded individuals. If you look at Twitter, if you look at the West, and I get it, if people grew up in America or whatever, publicly being called a racist is devastating for most people and their careers. Not me. Go ahead, call me racist all you want. It doesn't work. And if it had worked, well, it would have worked by now, since there's a billion videos out there and a billion people trying to call me a racist. And I'm sorry, if you think the Chinese government, the CCP, is a race, you're a moron. In fact, Chinese isn't even a race. Taiwanese people are ethnically Chinese, and the things I talk about don't apply to them, or Singaporeans, or the Chinese diaspora overseas. When I talk about the issues in China, I'm talking about mainland China, and I'm talking about what the CCP has done to shape the society there. That's the thing. I don't think these people understand who they're dealing with. I've had a very, very tough upbringing in South Africa. Not only just a tough upbringing, but I've been dealing with this jealousy and hatred shit for pretty much my entire life. I know exactly how to deal with it. And it's not a big deal. They go after my wife and family quite often, which really bugs the shit out of me. But it actually gives me more drive to continue doing what I'm doing. Because the more they do that, the more I will expose them for doing that. And the more it shows what I've been talking about, especially how Chinese society operates and the CCP mafia-style mentality, just how true it is. So the more they do these kind of things, the more hate they like push towards me, the more nonsense they say about me, the more I can use that as video topics in the future to prove what I've been saying is true all along. So it kind of plays into my hands. And although, no joke, of course, anyone who experiences this amount of hate will definitely have times where it gets to them, myself included, where it just becomes fairly overwhelming. It's not something I haven't dealt with before, and it's not something I can't deal with. So that's why it doesn't bother me as much as I'm sure they wish it would. A message to all the people that obsess over me. I hope you realize just how pathetic you guys seem at the end of the day. The fact that I live rent-free in your heads that much is, oh, I mean, it's embarrassing, to be honest. The more you obsess about me, the more videos you make about me, the more famous you make me. The more it's counter to what you really want, which is, of course, for me to disappear and be quiet. And I'm afraid that will never happen. You can label me whatever you like. You can try to make expose videos as much as you want. It's not going to stop me. You can do attempts to dox me. You can try to mess with my life in real life and all this stuff which you guys do anyway. It's not going to stop me. And the more you do it, the more ammunition I'm going to have to use against you, and the more videos I will make about your awful, abhorrent, cowardly behavior. So, my advice to all the sycophant shills out there is to start making your own damn content for once. How about putting out some good, compelling content that people can look at and admire and want to consume? Because if you want to get rid of me, it's a free market out there. Maybe you're just too used to China, the way they force things there, but YouTube is not a Chinese company, right? It's a free market out there. If you want to get rid of me, make better content so that people don't watch my stuff and watch your stuff instead. Rather than trying this jealous, cowardly attack stuff all the time, you might actually have a little bit of success. Either way, I'm not going anywhere. Thank you for all the obsessive, I don't know what you'd call it, like love-hate stuff that you guys do. It's ridiculous. It's entertaining. And I'm pretty sure I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot to Shillbusters for a entertaining video. And I can't wait to see you next time. Stay awesome.
Okay, so we heard it straight from the man himself. I'd like to thank Winston for taking part in this video and being a good sport about things, and I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching this video. So, Serpentza, Laowhy86, are they racists? You decide. These shills have been busted. See you in the next video, guys.